What is up, Blood Bowl fans? We are in week 3 with the Cablevision HD. I am Complacent Badger.
I'm Gimpy.
And we're about to watch some steely orcs against some jumpy circus peoples.
This is going to be real tricky. The orc coach, McFlappy, trained with Master Moose preparing for the season.
Yeah, this is definitely a case of the Padawan going against the Jedi Master.
So, and we've got some see, Mighty Blow. We've got one replacement player thanks to that matchup last week against Chaos.
Yeah. So orcs doing that packed up setup, keeping everybody behind the black orcs, which, if I'm not mistaken, right now, yeah, Kislev's receiving the ball, so the orcs are basically just giving up the flanks against an acrobatics team.
Yeah, and you know we've covered this more than once, where you and I aren't huge fans of this because it's giving up the flanks, and you can get away with that against my team or your team, but
Mm-hmm.
when you're up against Amazons and when you're up against Circus, and we don't have an elf team right now, but like,
Cur- Curious, he's going for the blocks first.
yeah, Master Moose definitely been, I think, a bit more aggressive this season.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
paying off. There's an injury.
yeah. It's just weird he wouldn't get downfield or get his free moves in before throwing these blocks. Because I don't know if those blocks played into the strategy at all.
Yeah. Well, we had covered or at least I had mentioned before that Master Move's been a little more aggressive trying to pick up the ball early before a lot of his, more free moves or standard moves. So
Huh.
interesting.
No,
Oh,
he's
he's going.
blitzing the
That's a
black
split.
orc.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, I guess that's not a bad. Get you downfield and get you a free hit.
Yeah. He's not going to use that blitz for anything else.
Yeah,
So
it's a fair move. No problem.
all right, and he's kind of semi-sealing that so he can bring his ball carrier up that left side.
Yeah, it's super reasonable that. Oh, okay. I guess just trying to get that one SPP. I don't know if I would have chucked a reroll for it, but I mean, I guess that's safer than keeping the ball out.
Yeah. Well, if it had bounced out, depending on where it had gone, one blitz and they're already covering the ball.
Yeah,
And there's very little AG4, if any, on this team, so I can see him being a little more cautious with it.
yeah, I'm with it. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah. I don't know if the like his opening turn was just kind of like where he had like team building as his main focus, and so
Mhm.
maybe that's why we saw what would be considered a little bit less than ideal for the purposes of winning the match. But if you're trying to get SPP, I mean, which
Yeah.
to me that's an admirable cause. It's basically what I do with my dwarves every game. So
Yeah. Big blitz off the ball, trying to make sure he doesn't have that receiver available.
yeah, it was a good choice. You weren't getting to the ball carrier with the blitz, so hit the best eligible receiver and then clog up the other ones.
Hmm.
This is going to take some time to fix. Granted, with the formation at the beginning, you've basically given up almost half of your field, but we'll see if he can keep it going. That hole's going to open up in the center with this move. Um,
Yeah, I was thinking about that because he didn't tag two of those players on the line.
yeah.
And I was like, one of those is going to do something big.
Mm-hmm. So let's see where this ball carrier goes. Looks like he's getting an eligible receiver down there. Nope. He's already used the. Oh, he's doing jump up. That's right. I will
Oh, yeah.
forget. I will forget every single time that Kislev blitzers have jump up. Every single time I'll forget it.
Uh, that's okay. Okay. I was like, that's a bold move. Yeah, when you got the skills, go for it.
Yeah, we'll see if the orcs tie up. Yep, and he does immediately. So that looks like a black orc blitz coming right meow. But
I
black
mean,
orc.
there's dodge. He doesn't have tackle,
Yep,
and he doesn't have block. So
and
yeah,
the dodge saves him. Oh no, I'm sorry. The catchers don't have dodge. They have everything else: diving catch, very long legs, and leap.
Oh, I
Yeah, they
did
don't
not
come.
realize I didn't have dodge.
Yeah, they don't come with dodge standard. So yeah, um, putting it up against that black orc, that was basically a guaranteed down. I mean, he had to do 2 attacker downs, or I guess a push.
A both down would have ended turn.
Yeah, that I guess he could
So
have still recovered from it, so it wasn't terrible.
there were enough odds for it to not be like an actual drop, but
Mm-hmm.
still a very bold choice.
Yeah. Yeah, but these orcs are hard to get through, so I can understand trying to just do something to shake it up, because they create that green wall unless you keep the ball moving around. As long as it doesn't get into one of the big meaty green hands. Oh my goodness,
Oh, gee.
that's a level 1 blitzer that's down, but he brings it back to a badly hurt.
So
Apothecary actually
that's
did.
2 injuries on an AV9 team. That's huge.
Yeah, but Apothecaries for the orcs working overtime. And we're going to lose all those yards that he did with that move
Yeah.
in the previous turn.
He's being a little more cautious here, but a huge gap here in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Ironic that the setup gives
Yeah,
up the entire flanks, but then he overcommitted to that left flank and now gave up the middle that he started with every player on.
yeah, that is an interesting. I think the 2 injuries that came from the center didn't help with that either.
Right.
That the 2 players that were meant to be there. Now, granted, it was turn 1 and turn 3 that those were given up, so he did have some time to recalibrate them.
Adjust.
But those 2 blitzers and that black orc getting stuck with those 2 linemen, that's pretty tough. He's got to get those unclogged.
Would you have followed up there? I feel like I would have.
I would have, yeah, 100%.
Uh, this is one of those times. I mean, you're an orc team. This is an AV, 7 and 8 team.
Yeah.
You want to be engaged as much as possible.
Okay, yeah, I was like, interesting that you would go on that side, but he
Yeah.
did see the problem and correct it on that. Because I think we know Master Moose enough that he would have gone for that -1 to catch and gone for the touchdown. I think. What do you think?
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh my!
he couldn't stand up and do it, so he would actually,
Oh, that's
just
true.
dodge out
And then go for the catch. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
3 injuries, 2 of them sticking.
Wow. And Apothecary already used, so if another one drops in with some bad boo-boos. Wow.
This is the worst case scenario for these orcs.
Boy, I wish I injured Amazons like this.
Right? I wish I injured any team like this.
Kislev really giving it to the orcs painfully.
Yeah. And Master Moose being very aggressive as the quote weaker team, but it's working out in spades.
But he's still playing that agility defense. Like, he's staying. Like, the orcs are just not getting free hits on him, with the exception of the linemen, and then every once in a while 1 or 2 players. But he is heavily reducing those free hits if he can buy his way out.
Yeah. Well, and I think part of it is we're seeing a couple of choices where, like, you and I may have followed up that he's not following up. And
Mm-hmm.
because McFlappy's not following up at every opportunity, a lot of those could have been prevented from 2 dies,
Yeah.
which would have only been 1 die just because you have had that extra body engage, or would
Yeah.
have forced Master Moose to bring someone else in.
Or at the very least, rolled to get away, which we're not seeing a lot of forced dodge rolls, because he's not really engaging, or at least if he's not engaging, Master Moose is also engaging where he wants the orcs to be rather than on the important positionals.
Which is very much the opposite of what we saw last week with Mazrak, who came away with a huge win against this exact team.
All right, so not enough defenders on this catcher, so this should be an easy touch, but I think Master Moose is going to throw, he's feeling that blood fervor, and he's going to throw a couple blocks. It could also be setting up just in case. That's interesting. Does that one also have, yeah, they all have diving catch. Oh, but he's doing a handoff, so ain't no thing. Was that a full pass? That was a pass. Oh, no, he just did a handoff. Okay. Well done. A weird drive, but he kept the orcs in the back foot the whole drive.
I will say though, that dance is baller.
That is a really good dance. Yeah, that was a cool drive, I'll say.
Yeah, but now the Orcs are in a terrible position. They're going to be rolling with 9.
Yes. The benefit that they get is that the Kislev team, as long as he plays a fairly reserved defense, keeping out 2 safeties back there, because he has the Black Orcs to keep the pressure on pretty well on the whole team.
Hmm.
Keeping 2 blitzers back as safeties for those catchers getting back there, he should be able to hold them to 1-0 going into the half, and then he gets the ball again. Um,
Yeah.
like I know that ideally you would want to score right now, but I think in 4 turns with an Orc team, having 3 players down, I don't think that's gonna or 2 players down because he did
Yeah.
apothecary one. I don't think scoring, especially without a goblin, I just don't see the score happening.
Yeah. Agreed.
Um,
He's given up flanks here. I mean, if all you're doing is holding the ball, which you and I think agree is probably the move here,
yeah,
it's not a huge problem. But I would be careful on your standard, because you are basically just asking for that pressure immediately.
yeah. All he needs to do is cage up, slow roll, and meat grind it, and see if you can bait Master Moose into actually engaging. I don't see Master Moose falling to that, but you never know.
All right, and there's that follow up, and again, I think those 2 Black Orcs there should have followed up as well because those are the guys you want throwing hits. Like they need to be engaged at every opportunity.
Yeah, maybe he's a little worried because he has that player disadvantage. But really the only way the Orcs are going to build that back up is to take players away from the Kislev team,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't do that if you're not following up. I mean, you got a lot of turns left. He's caging
Yeah.
up quite appropriately though, so
Yeah.
um,
And that would be the only reason why I wouldn't necessarily follow up is I would have built that cage on the left side behind those Black Orcs.
yeah, if you were not following up, that's actually a pretty good. But he built a cage with those extra blitzers.
Hmm.
Um,
So he's got a more mobile cage, so maybe he still feels he has a chance to score.
yeah, I mean,
So
I think if you would have sent that lineman, maybe open up a hole with a blitzer, and then just send that lineman downfield. I know Master Moose would have still thrown players at it, but that makes up for your player disadvantage because he's Master Moose probably going to send 2 linemen after that lineman, which brings your player count much closer. All right, so he opens up the cage, not doing his patented leap to hit it. I think as he's got the player advantage, he doesn't want to take extra risks. So now he's just getting
yeah,
adjacent.
well, in your face, he's gonna do it there.
Well, that
So
wasn't the leap
yeah.
blitz. You know what I mean? Okay, so there we go.
All right, there
Getting
we
it.
go. Starting to even it up. And he's now only down 1 player, and that is a big difference when you're at
Yeah.
a strength advantage and an armor advantage.
Yes. And
So
these.
this is almost an even game.
Yep. He's only gonna. And if he hits with the ball carrier, he can get 2 more hits on that team. Which I think at this point I probably would. But it looks
I
like
think he's gonna dodge out and just try to recage.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. You're gonna have a problem with the position that you're picking though, because you have this lineman there, and that's
Yeah.
gonna.
He has a free Black Orc. If he had placed the Black Orc there, I'd be a lot less worried.
Yeah, and he already used the blitz to get that 1 cat out of the way. So.
So now he has an opening in the front here, and there's not guard on that Black Orc, so
No, yeah, that's gonna
that's a
be
1 die
that's
that
an
Master Moose will take.
yeah, that is an easy 1 die coming right at that carrier. But he has a blitzer, so we can hope. It's probably gonna come from. It might come from this blitzer, but it might come from a lineman. So, yeah, I think he's gonna do a leap blitz with a blitzer.
Mhm. I mean, he could just attack it from the front, just dodge out a little
Oh,
bit.
he's getting a 2 die, or no, he's just getting a 1 die. But he's gonna do
Yeah.
it from this blitzer, maybe. Yeah, he's tying
My
him up
guess
just in case
was
this fails.
the left side.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
nope,
exactly.
you were right.
Yep. Well, because I know he wanted to do the blitzer because he really likes relying on that diving tackle and people forgetting about it.
Right,
He did the same things with the Dump King and that team.
that's true.
So any chance he gets, he's gonna throw that. He's gonna throw it at the ball carrier.
Yeah, I'm sure if he could get shadowing on one of those players, he would do it
Woo!
every time. And wow, that's a big one. I bet we're seeing an apothecary now.
Yep, and he's still dead. Permanent dead.
Double dead. Is that the second week in a row that's happened?
I believe so. I don't know if it was to him but we've seen some good double deaths.
So that 100% evens out the player advantage.
Yes, and returns a dead player. And it looks like, unless something really crazy happens with a good leap, it's most likely going to happen from a lineman if it's going to be a leap. So they have reduced movement allowance compared to the blitzers and the catchers. So this is, I think, a guaranteed touchdown here, unless Master Moose does something super crazy. And here comes that player advantage getting stacked in the Orcs' favor.
And this is what we're talking about. We're seeing him engaged more frequently. We're starting to see that. And that, I think, is the difference maker. I would not have followed up there. That is the one time I would not have followed up, because then that would have given you a 2-die.
Yep. But it's okay. Alright, so here he's freeing up that blitzer.
Yep.
Ooh, return the KO, so we're back to evens.
That said, though, on a scattered field,
Alright. So, heading over. Let's see the leap. Oh, 2-die uphill. The push. Let's see if the diving tackle will... Well, he's probably not even getting a chance for the diving tackle due to all those players being there.
Yeah, with 2 rerolls, you throw that hit with that blitzer, and all you need is a push, and that's a touchdown. So
yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be the blitzer that throws.
That's it. That's all you need.
And then you can either throw a couple hits or you can go for the tie. Probably want to go for the tie before you do anything else. But you still have a reroll, so I mean, you might get a couple SPP and some player advantage out of it.
I'm a big coward.
Yeah,
I would have scored.
It depends on how important the win is to him. And you know, these early games, you know, we're not running playoffs or anything, so a win's not terribly important, but growing for that next game is. He still got a reroll, so to me this is not terribly risky. Plus, he doesn't have to make any rolls for the ball carrier. If he had to do a dodge or a catch or something, I might be a little bit more wary, but... All right. Wow. So, in my face, I said that touchdown wasn't going to happen, but he believed, and he drove it right down the middle.
Honestly, you know, that wasn't your standard cage, but that was everything we could hope for. Yeah, you and I think we're going to have to eat our words, because you and I definitely would have played that passively.
Yeah.
And just reset for the next half. And that was a huge swing. He got the players back evened out, and he managed to get that touchdown to even things out going into this half. That gives him huge odds going in. But again, I think in an open field, Circus should have the advantage. It's a lot harder to cover Circus players than it is to slow down an Orc team.
All right, so kickoff going to the Orcs. And all right, so we're even. I think both KOs. Nope, the Kislev KO didn't come back. So we're looking at, looks like 8 on 8. 8 on 9. Orcs have the advantage. All right.
And again, I stand by. Follow should be happening here, especially now. If there's ever a time you want to follow up, it's right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe McFlappy has a plan that I can't see, but
I wonder if because early on he got hit so often, but a lot of that is because he wasn't doing these follow-ups and he wasn't engaging.
But he's gonna follow up with a lineman.
Yeah, I don't know. Because that would be my only thought, is like maybe he doesn't want to leave them engaged, and then Master Moose only needs like 1 or 2 players to get that 2-die, but that forces Master Moose to dedicate players to that. And in the case of Black Orcs, he needs multiple players to do that. Or maybe he just wanted to free up those Black Orcs to go help with the cage.
Yeah.
Since, I mean, Master Moose must be reading that that's what he wants, since he's re-engaging those Black Orcs freely.
Yeah, and curious that he did re-engage those Black Orcs. Does he, like, for me, like, I get you don't want the Black Orcs to participate in the cage, but you're at a player disadvantage. Like, especially that leftmost Black Orc, like, he's not getting to that cage next turn.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too much of a, this turn kind of player, but I just if those Black Orcs gave my lineman a free get out of line pass, I'll take it, man.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that would have been my blitz choice because I would have saw that hit
Yeah.
coming.
Now that guy is basically stuck.
Maybe he plans on a leap in the back. Maybe he anticipated that and he's going to leap behind with getting a, a bonus over here.
Well, here's the thing, though: is by using that player, you've taken away someone who can fill in the back now,
With the diving
and there's that
tackle.
diving tackle.
Yeah, that makes sense now. I see that, and I see why now. Because he was planning on, no matter what, keeping that ball carrier adjacent to a catcher because of the diving tackle.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think the weird move was McFlappy's because he
Yeah,
brought a blitzer from across to hit that guy instead of using the blitzer who was already there
yeah,
to allow the blitzer, one, to get off the sideline and avoid what just happened,
yep,
uh, and two, you took away the blitzer who could have marked the ball there,
yeah.
or not marked the ball, but like covered that rear.
I wonder if Miflappy did not realize the diving tackle.
I would almost put actually, yeah, I would put money on that. It's it's always hard when you're up against unfamiliar teams like Circus
Mm-hmm.
to remember everyone's default skills.
Yeah,
And some skills, because no one has diving tackle. Like, it's so rare to see diving tackle.
mm-hmm.
It's super easy to forget about those, and that happens.
Yeah, like he got his lineman KO'd over here, and this Black Orc's not going to participate in the match.
Yeah.
All right, running down, kind of getting everybody back up.
Master Moose is a confident enough coach that we're not going to see a delay here. He's going to score, and he's going to try to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was the only play, so going for it was good. There's just not a lot you can do if it rolls, a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, looks like he's going to throw some hits before he goes for the touchdown, though.
He's got 3 rerolls.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the fewest rerolls we've seen him do in a game.
All right, so he brings that touchdown back real quick. So if there's any indication from the last drive that the Orcs had control of, we might see a 2-2 game here.
Very possible. He's gonna have to figure out a way to use his Black Orcs more effectively, though. That last drive was about the worst case scenario for those Black Orcs.
Yeah, I think maybe they got two hits for the entire drive, if that each. And this one, he's got a 2-player advantage on this. I believe this drive. He's got. We're looking at 7 players
7 to 9. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 2-player advantage. This should be an Orc drive easily.
But because he left those wings open, that ball's going to land in a place that he cannot cover very well.
Yeah, well, the good news is that he gets to recalibrate. And the ball did land in a pretty useful spot for him. Oh, didn't get that cage set up first.
He did. He set it up there.
But he set it up over there. I see.
Yeah, you're the jackass.
I like to set my cage up around the ball on the ground, man.
I'm the same way. If I can do that, that's what I'm doing.
Because
if he doesn't pick that up, that's an exposed ball, and then it's a 3-1 game.
Yes. But like you were saying, probably the reduction, the Orcs reduced movement allowance didn't allow for the cage to be put up on the ball.
It did. The person who had the farthest to go is that blitzer that's currently in that front right corner.
Okay, and he had...
and no one else in that cage moved, so he easily could have shifted the whole thing over.
Got it. Alright, so he's already getting the leap in there. He's got 2 diving tackle players on that ball carrier, so that is going to be... but there's a lot of players on there, so he doesn't necessarily need to stand still or dodge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like that was a misclick.
Very possibly. I mean, it did misclick into an open place, so it's possible that he could have done that intentionally.
He
Uh,
had players to stand up, like moving. What was that? Was that a lineman? Yeah, moving a lineman from a dodge as their first move. Like that's.
we've seen less conventional moves.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
that
gonna pick
yeah
it up. He's
yeah
gone.
that's yeah that's. Whoa, where's he going? Yeah, that's game. I think
That should do it.
it's.
Scoring once in 4 turns is impressive for an orc team. Scoring twice in 4 turns is technically impossible.
He's gonna have to do it in 2 turns, and that's if Master Moose doesn't delay him.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know what that turn was. I hope that was a misclick at the very least. It will be interesting to hear what the plan was there. Um, well, yeah, that went from a decent setup to real bad, yo.
Yeah, that was real unfortunate to how that went, and there's that diving tackle again.
Yep. I don't. Maybe this guy was that guy down up there.
I he might I think he was.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
that was the only eligible person, and to me that one wasn't a mistake. I don't think he forgot about it. I
Yeah.
think he just understood that that was the only thing he could do and just rolled the dice with it.
Yeah. That's most likely. All right. Well, that's 3-1. Orcs have 2 turns to try to turn this around. We could see some riots or some blitzes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Uh, but I mean, here again, the priority is going to be ball protection and hitting. But we'll see how he handles it.
yep. At the very least, beating up on some Kislev. Gain a turn. There we go. Riot already going in the favor of the Orcs. That's what we like to see. That's why I always tell people it's never out. Granted, this is going to be tough and this is going to be uphill, but, 2 riots and we have a game.
Right?
Alright. So not following up again. Not gaining that extra free yardage.
Yeah. And the other big thing here is even if you don't think you can win and you don't think you can score, you
That's
are
it.
reducing the chance of your big guys hitting.
Yep.
That is the hardest SPP that you're gonna get. Will be on a black orc from hitting.
Mm-hmm. Right, so caging up. Last blitzer is going to be used, so... okay. But I don't think he used his blitz, so no hole was created. So Kislev's just going to have to easily wrap around. And with that...
Honestly, I'm not rolling out a 4-1 right now.
Yeah, I mean...
Depending on how aggressive Master Moose wants to be here, and he's got a lot of leeway to be aggressive.
Yeah, that engagement with that blitzer did not make any sense to me. Maybe he was trying to prevent a leap?
Possibly. All right. Here's that diving tackle engaged again.
Because I know we just mentioned about 30 times following up the Black Orcs as a move, and then he follows up with a blitzer, and quote unquote follows up, but like not against 2 blitzers.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing there is he didn't even get a hit for that.
Yeah, he just
He
walked
just
up
set
to
him
it.
He's like, I bet you won't punch me. And Master Moose turns out will.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that blitz right there, which probably should have been last turn, trying to open up a blitz, or being engaged with Black Orcs so that you could just drop them anyways. Instead, opens up for Master Moose to
get a 2-die.
Yeah. If this is a good bounce. Oh nope. All right.
There is still a turn
Yeah,
after this.
there's still a turn, but that right there, catching the Orcs in the back foot would have been.
What's the movement on? I don't know the positions for this team.
The
Is that-
catchers or the linemen?
I think it's the
Catchers are
catcher.
movement 8, no 7. Movement
7.
allowance 7.
So yeah,
okay.
he definitely has the movement then to get to that end zone.
Yeah, I think dislodging this ball is gonna be a little bit tougher. I don't think it's huge odds, especially after this Orc turn. But I mean, it's not ruled out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yep, just gonna throw. Don't know if throwing against that. Oh, I guess opening it up.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I
Yeah.
think that was a good choice.
I think I'm.
And then he can throw a 2-die here off the ball.
But knowing that's your play, why not just pick up that blitzer first in case something fails?
Or that, there we go, or that black orc.
Yeah, like why don't we pick up if you know where your blitz is and you have to make rolls to unlock that blitz, pick up everybody else because they're not going to be moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I understand what happened there. He figured he's going to get his one free point.
Yep.
Um, I don't know if I would have done it. Like, I understand why, because he's like, there's no turns left.
Yeah.
You can't score, but he can.
Yeah.
And all it takes is one good roll.
Yeah. I guess he might not care. Giving an opponent 3, maybe 4 SPP is something he doesn't care about if he can get one. Because I guess
I mean, he doesn't have to play him again.
That's what I mean. He doesn't have to play him again, at least this season. But okay, pass failed. So that's our game. Okay. Right off the bat, I think Master Moose didn't like. Other than that first drive, Master Moose didn't really play because he was kind of just reacting and capitalizing on what the Pittsburgh Steelers did.
Yeah, he started real aggressive, but it paid off huge for him. Which puts me in that awkward position of like, it worked, and you're objectively a better coach than I am. But man, I'm always real nervous about being that aggressive when you're the weaker team. And I think you saw it in that second drive where Masters was still pretty aggressive, but it backfired.
Yeah, a couple times. But
so that's to me the only thing. And in the second half, you saw a big shift where he wasn't nearly as engaged as he was the first couple ones, except with his linemen. But yeah, he's been real aggressive this season.
I think that out of weight 6 is probably injury and armor rolls.
Yeah, by far. The injury rolls are skewed insanely.
Yeah.
And his dodge rolls are also incredibly low.
Yeah.
And most of them were at pretty decent dodges. There's a couple with some negative modifiers,
I think
but
2, if not 3 of them were diving tackle.
So, I mean, that's still, what, a 4+?
The diving tackle is a -2 on your dodge, so...
okay, yeah. Well, in that case, yeah. What,
So,
5+?
Yeah, 5+ then. Because it makes up for the space you're jumping in and another one. Yeah, diving tackle is a dodge death sentence. Yeah.
So,
like,
that injury roll is definitely the rough one there.
Yeah. I'm not terribly interested in the die rolls for this game. I think the choices that both coaches made was a lot more interesting than the dice.
Agreed. And, you know, we harp on it every week for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that defense where you're just giving up those wings. We said it was going to backfire against agility teams, and we saw it. That first drive was minimal effort by the circus.
Jeez, that SPP game. Is that the most in the season yet in one game?
Probably. The only one that might compete would be the Zons versus Vamps that first week. I don't remember how much was there.
Is it 27? No,
yeah.
23. 23.
Yeah.
23 SPP, jeez.
Still, and there's still 12 on the other side, too.
Yeah.
That's also quite a bit.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Well, I think we basically said it during the game. I mean, just...
Yeah, no reason to continue beating this dead horse.
Yeah, I don't know if... I think Master Moose did some pretty clever plays, so I won't give him too much shade.
Yeah. In the first half, honestly, I thought both teams played incredibly well the first half. Huge points to the Pittsburgh Steelers for that
that touchdown. That was
second
huge.
Quarter touchdown was just incredible.
Yeah, that was really good. I have to say that was strong. Maybe talk about on the boards what your thought process is for a lot of your decisions, or if you don't really have one, maybe recalibrate that. But I'm open to suggestions. Maybe my orc teams can play better.
Yeah, same.
But good game.
Yeah, great game from both teams.
Yep. we will see you next time on Cablevision HD.
Later.